Hey everybody, it's Nate with Sauce Ain't the Boss here again, and today is day number 106 of quitting alcohol. Today I just wanted to talk about how you make the difference in your journey on quitting alcohol. The buck stops with you, right? Nobody can force you to pick up alcohol and put it into your mouth. Ultimately, you're going to make the choice to either stay off the drink or to get back on it. And so for me, my journey has been all about the last 20 years of being a drinker and trying to quit and going back to the drink back and forth. And now being on this so far very successful attempt that I'm on now. I've learned a lot over those 20 years, and I've gained knowledge from this resource and that resource. And I think that's what we do. We pick up a lot of knowledge along the way. And it's up to us to take that knowledge and apply it to where it works for us, and to learn and to grow and to get better and better at being a non-drinker in life. And so, there's a lot of different ways out there to quit drinking. Some people read self-help books. Some people use social media. Some people go to clinics. Some people go to AA. There's just a lot of different options out there. The one I like the best is quitting on your own. That's what works for me. You can start today. It's free. And the only thing I would advise there is if you're one of those people that is super physically dependent on alcohol to where you get the shakes and that kind of thing, you might want to seek some medical help, obviously, if you think you're going to have serious physical withdrawals. And I think the vast majority of people can quit without doing that. It's, for me, I was a evening drinker, heavy evening drinker. I drank 12 drinks at least per night, for 20 plus years or whatever it's been. And I didn't have any physical withdrawals to speak of really when I quit. But that's not to say, depending on who you are, you kind of know your drinking levels and where you're at, your body size. So it all kind of depends on multiple things. So something to think about there, But like I said, quitting on your own is free. You can start today, and I think it's a good option for a lot of people. And worst case, you fail at it, right? You've been drinking all this time anyway. Then you can try something different if you feel like quitting on your own is not for you. But for me, it was one of those deals where I had enough resources in my pocket that I had learned over the years, just, online and reading, and then just my own feelings, opinions, and my own spiritual journey has led me to be where I'm at today. And I think that, it's like I'm talking about, ultimately, the buck stops with you, and you're going to decide to keep moving forward with this or not, no matter what direction of quitting you choose to go. That's why some people go to AA and they relapse. That's why some people go to recovery clinics and they relapse. They quit on their own and they relapse. At the end of the day, what makes that difference? You decide, I'm going to go back to drinking or not. And all of us drinkers are going to be tempted, sometimes on a weekly basis, daily basis. I mean, it just depends on the week, so to speak, but there's going to be cravings that maybe happen, triggers that happen, and you have to navigate those things with and apply the knowledge that you've learned through whatever you've decided path to take on quitting alcohol. That application of knowledge that you use is up to you, and is it enough to get you through those things? And a lot of the times, like I talked about in my earlier videos, we all create our own tool bag in this process of our go-to tools that we use to deal with cravings or triggers, or an avoidance is a tool. I'm going to avoid this event, or I'm going to avoid that person because I know that they're going to be a trigger for drinking, or that event is going to make me want to drink, or whatever it is. And you have to do those avoidance maneuvers for a while until you feel strong enough to get back out there and deal with these people in these events without going back to the alcohol. The willpower tool, I've talked about that one. The surfing your cravings tool, I've talked about that one. watching videos. I remember, sometimes when I would I'd be quitting in the past, and I'd have some cravings, sometimes watching some self-help videos or reading a book about it or something would help. Sometimes meditation's a tool, breathing, working out. I mean, there's all kinds of tools, and maybe this tool doesn't work on that day for that job, but this one does. And you're going to have to, find the right tool for the right job, depending on what day it is and what's going on in your life that's making you want to drink. And I will say time is the biggest tool that's on our side and will help with this entire process. Is the longer you can use all these other tools to get away from alcohol and keep off of it, and time is the biggest tool that's starting to help over this journey, and allows you to get further and further away from alcohol. You'll be able to do everything better because you've distanced yourself. Alcohol is way back there now. It's not within your grasp. It's kind of just like something you used to do a long time ago, and not something that's fresh, that's just behind you, that is kind of your shadow walking around behind you all the time, so to speak. Gets further and further away with time. And it's like I've said in a lot of videos, this is a process and a journey that you can't rush. It takes time. And for a lot of us, that might be the most frustrating part of this, is we just want to be, a year in or whatever it is, to where we know, hey, I hear a lot of good happens a year, and people talk about how they don't have the cravings anymore, this wonderful thing, they've lost weight, blah, 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 whatever. You can't rush it though. You're going to have to go through the year. And here's what I said in one of my other videos. I realized too, the quitting process is still life. It's still good. Just because you decided to quit drinking today or yesterday or whenever you did, you're still living life. You still get to wake up and, decide what you're going to do for the day and all these different things. And, a lot of us need to kind of still realize that, I remember, and this is where I kind of screwed up, so to speak, in the process. I just wanted to get that first month of quitting alcohol over with, rather than just feeling it, learning more from it. It was kind of like, for me, well, I know if I can get through a month, I've heard first month is the worst, and in a lot of ways it is, but it was still, life was going on around me while I was dealing with my own struggles during that month, and so if I could go back in time, I would react differently, about that first month. And that's something maybe I would tell you guys, is that you got to realize that, there's more to this life than alcohol. And as soon as that stops, the alcohol, it's all about learning to live life without it, and realizing that life is a beautiful thing. And there's no point in rushing this process or rushing any part of life, because you can't rush it. Number one, it takes however long it takes. There's 24 hours in a day that you got to go through. So you might as well make them the very best you can with a positive attitude, and embrace whatever's going on around you. Lean into it, just go for it, and don't be such a Debbie Downer about, having to give up alcohol. Look at it as you're starting a beautiful brand new life for yourself that is going to be amazing. And each day that passes, each second, each minute is getting you, without drinking, is getting you closer to that life that you're so excited to start and get into. And so that's definitely a way to look at it. But again, the point of today's video is just to let you guys let this sink in, that really, ultimately, no matter what path you take on your journey of quitting alcohol, you are going to be the one that keeps the alcohol out of your mouth. You're going to be the one applying the knowledge that you've learned. You're going to be the one dealing with the cravings and the triggers, and nobody else can do any of that for you. And that's not a scary thing. You just have to be prepared for that, understand that you can do it, and just as each thing comes, deal with it then, and don't get too lost in your thoughts about what could happen or what might happen or this, that, and the other thing. When you see it happen, deal with it then, and that's the best way to go through life in general, is just each thing as it comes, one foot in front of the other, each day at a time, And I can tell you right now, being 106 days in, that it's super easy now when a trigger happens or a craving happens compared to 1 weekend, compared to 2 months in, you know. Like I said, time's your greatest friend in this thing, and getting your mind on your side is your greatest tool too. And so go back, look at some of my earlier videos. I've got a lot of, you know, tools that you can put in your bag to help you get through this process. You can go back to my day 1 video and listen to my thoughts day by day. Start on day 1 and give this a go and follow along. And hopefully you guys will get something out of those earlier videos. But like I said, I'm doing these videos every day for a year. I'm on day 106 of no alcohol. And if you're getting anything out of these videos, give them a like, subscribe to the channel if you can, and most importantly, remember, sauce ain't the boss, you are. You guys have a great night.